500 BC. The Persian nation consists of a number of tribes. Of these, the Pasargadae are the most distinguished. They contain the Achaemenid clan, from which the Persian kings emerge. The Achaemenid Empire was founded by nomadic Persians. The Persians were an Iranian people who lived in 1000 BC, came to the area of today's Iran, and, alongside the native Elamites, settled a region that included northwestern Iran, the Zagros Mountains, and Persis. The Persians were originally nomadic pastoralists on the western Iranian plateau. The Achaemenids were originally rulers of the Elamite city of Anshan. The title King of Anshan was an adaptation of the earlier Elamite title King of Susa and Anshan. There are conflicting reports about the identity of the first kings of Anshan. According to the Cyrus Cylinder, the kings of Anshan, Thymbra, Cyrus I, Cambyses I, and Cyrus II were the ones who founded the empire. The later Behistun inscription, written by Darius the Great, claims that Thymbra was the son of Achaemenes and that Darius also descended from Thymbra via a different line, but no earlier text mentions Achaemenes. Herodotus writes that Cyrus II was the son of Cambyses I and Mandane of Media, the daughter of Astyages, king of the Medes. The Achaemenid Empire may not have been the first Iranian empire, as the Medes, another group of the Iranian people, founded a short-lived empire when they played an important role in overthrowing the Assyrians. Cyrus II rebelled in 553 BC against the Median Empire and 550 BC, managed to bribe the Mede army with gold, imprison King Astyages, and capture the Mede capital Ecbatana. According to Herodotus, this ended the 35-year reign of Astyages and the 128-year reign of the Median in Asia. After Cyrus II gained control of Ecbatana, Cyrus named himself Astyages' successor and took control of the entire empire. In inheriting the empire of Astyages, he also inherited the territorial conflicts that the Medes had had with both Lydia and the Neo-Babylonian Empire. King Croesus of Lydia tried to take advantage of the new situation by penetrating previously Median territory in Asia Minor. The Persian king, Cyrus II, or also called Cyrus the Great, conquered in 550 BC the kingdom of Media, which led to conflicts with the neighboring Lydian kingdom, as the Lydian king Croesus claimed Median territories. Cyrus intended to catch the Lydian king Croesus unprepared in battle, but at Thymbra Croesus had more than twice as many men as Cyrus. The Lydians marched to meet Cyrus and quickly armed all the reserves there before their allies could arrive, but they never did. Cyrus had a total of 20,000 men, which consisted of 7,000 Persians. These consisted of 2,000 archers and slingers, 5,000 elite cavalry, who may have been the Persian immortals. All but the archers and slingers are known to have carried small to large shields. His army was reinforced by 4,000 Arabs, Armenians, and Medians, which amounted to 12,600 infantrymen. There were also 300 camel cavalrymen and 4 ballistae, each holding 20 men. The Lydian king, Croesus, had an army of 42,000 men, which consisted of 6,000 Babylonians, Lydians, and Phrygians, also Cappadocians and nations of the Hellespont. These were 30,000 men, including 6,000 cavalry. There were also 12,000 Egyptians and chariots. Greek tradition portrays the Lydians as effeminate barbarians, but this image only emerged after Lydia became a Persian satrapy. In the early to middle Lydian period, and probably later, the nobility provided one as early as the 6th century BC. A militarily useless chariot force and a feared cavalry. 2 skeletons of Lydian soldiers show that heavy shields and helmets were used. Short sabers, war sickles, slingshots, and bows and arrows have been documented as weapons. Cyrus deployed his troops in a square formation with their flanks withdrawn. He took advantage of a hill and positioned his artillery there. The flanks were covered by cavalry on both sides. of Cyrus himself on one side and a general on the other. Cyrus also used pack camels to create a barrier in front of his archers. The smell of the camels disturbed the Lydian horses and scattered their cavalry charge while the archers fired on the Lydian forces. From the hill, they had a clear shot and were able to effectively decimate and thin out the charging chariots. As Cyrus expected, the Lydian army's wings rolled inwards, like a triangle, to envelop this novel formation. A kind of star emerged. This enabled the Persian cavalry to position its wings in a star shape and fire at the enemy in a zigzag fashion from the front and rear. As the Lydian flank swung in, gaps appeared at the hinges of the pivoting wings. The unrest was increased by the effective overhead fire of the Persian archers and mobile turrets stationed on the high ground. Finally, Cyrus gave the order to attack, and his flank units smashed into Croesus' disorganized wings. When the Lydian cavalry lost many soldiers, they had to retreat. With most of Cyrus' army intact and most of the Lydian cavalry lost, Cyrus ordered all cavalry and infantry to attack the remnants of Croesus' forces. The majority of the infantry soon surrendered, but Croesus and a small portion of the infantry withdrew and made their way to the Lydian capital of Sardis. The poor development of the Lydian siege system can easily be deduced from the Lydians' ongoing and ultimately militarily unsuccessful campaigns. On the other hand, in terms of the strength of its defenses, Sardis could compete with the largest Oriental cities and was superior to all Greek cities of its time. After the Lydians were defeated in the field, Cyrus II led a counterattack that not only repelled Croesus' armies, but also led to the conquest of Sardis and the fall of the Lydian kingdom in 546 BC. Cyrus put Pactyes in charge of collecting tribute in Lydia and left the country, but after Cyrus left, Pactyes instigated a rebellion against Cyrus. Cyrus sent the Median general Mazars to fight the rebellion, and Pactyes was captured. Mazars and, after his death, Harpagus set about destroying all the cities involved in the rebellion. The subjugation of Lydia lasted a total of around 4 years. There were numerous other revolts in the new Persian Empire. This forced Cyrus to wage wars against Bactria and the nomadic Saka in Central Asia. On the relations between Persia and Babylon between 547 and 539 BC. Nothing is known about, but it is likely that there were hostilities between the two empires for several years, leading to the War of 540 to 539 BC, and the fall of Babylon. In October 539 BC, Cyrus won a battle against the Babylonians at Opis, then conquered Sippar without a fight and finally captured the city of Babylon, where the Babylonian king Nabonidus was captured. With the capture of Babylon, Cyrus II, also known as Cyrus the Great, now controlled large parts of Asia. The entire Mede Empire as far as Bactria in the east and Lydia in the west. When Cyrus took control of the city of Babylon, he portrayed himself in propaganda as a restorer of the divine order that had been disrupted by Nabonidus, who had promoted the cult of sin in place of Marduk. And he also presented himself as a restorer of the Neo-Assyrian Legacy Empire by comparing himself to the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal. The Hebrew Bible also unreservedly praises Cyrus for his actions in the conquest of Babylon and describes him as Yahweh's anointed one. He is credited with freeing the people of Judah from their exile and authorizing the reconstruction of much of Jerusalem, including the Second Temple. In his last campaign, behind the Caucasus against the Scythians, Cyrus overestimated himself and lost his head in the battle.